The Morning Brew podcast with Jaffe and Razor, sponsored by Berkshire Bank Home Lending. Where you borrow matters. And so another AllStar break is done. The NHL gets back to work actually Monday, right away. Four teams, two games on Monday, if I remember correctly, as we welcome you into Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor, presented by Berkshire Bank. And as always, we thank them for being a part. We love having them around. Razor, we went into the All-Star break. We talked about the guys jetting off, everybody getting some sun. I know some guys did. I heard Florida had some good weather, and actually it's starting to turn a little cool down there now, so I think guys are very happy about that. Bruins are expected to be back on the ice, scheduled Monday, 2 o'clock. Guys are feeling good, rested after 4 days. I'm happy for them, but I need to know more about you. Did you get any rest? I caught you at the end of – I caught you on a game on was it last night, Saturday night? Is that right? You, Lowell, and Dartmouth.
Yes, little Dartmouth Lowell barn burner. It was actually a pretty close game. Dartmouth hung in there, but Lowell took over at the end, and then today was Beanpot running the stairs of the Garden. So and alumni, the whole thing. I did not get any rest this weekend whatsoever. 7 hockey games for my kids, the whole thing. All the makeup games being made up right now, as you know. So I'm looking forward to Monday and Tuesday, I guess. Monday Beanpot, Tuesday break for me.
You're not working the game Tuesday night with me, huh?
I am not. No? So I'm going to be on my couch, hanging out, watching you.
All right, but we are scheduled, if memory serves correct, to do a brew after that game. Exactly. Couple of things. One, like I said, I just caught like the second half of the third period of the Dartmouth Lowell game. My buddy, who I grew up with, played hockey with, his son played well for Dartmouth, had a goal and 2 assists, Dorfman. And
Mr. Dorfman,
I was thrilled to hear when you guys mentioned that he scored some goals. They're going to be good at Dartmouth. They're going to be better. I know this is a Bruins show, but, screw it. We can talk all things hockey. And, in fact, later in the show, we're going to have a quick Beanpot preview. I like Lowell, too. I mean, they're built well. They're built well. Your partner, I don't know who it was. He was very deferential to you. I appreciate a play-by-play guy who gives the analyst a lot. He called you, he was very respectful, highly respectful. I liked it. You earned it, Razor.
I've certainly earned it. Ty Murray was really good. Yeah, really. First time worked with him, first time I met him. So we had fun together. It was good. Again, you never know with those games, as you know, you could get a 0-0 game and you're just like, oh boy. But there was some action, stuff to talk about. So it was good.
It was good. And how'd you do in the Be Fit challenge? I saw you were there and McQuaid. Anybody else there?
The two of us, just the two of us. I ran off with the police division early, and then I went off with the civilians. McQuaid and Adam and I went off with the civilians the second part, and then he did the firemen at the end. So one full and probably 2/3 of the Garden up and down. So I'm going to hurt tomorrow probably because I am not in good enough shape to do that just out of nowhere.
All stairs, or is it just up one stairs and then around the Garden? Are you up and down every stair?
So you go up and down the stairs through the whole bowl, then you go up to the 2 suite levels and go flat around, or all 3 suite levels, I guess now. So that's flat for the most part, and then you're all the way back down to the floor. So
wow. Yeah, I would have puked up. I would have lost my chicken tenders. I'm telling you, I ate like a 9-year-old this weekend. Honest to God, it's disgusting.
Rink life.
Yes, rink life. Yeah, driving to games. Like this morning, Sunday morning, got Jake up early to get down south to Rockland. So you justify. I just want to get something in him, so I get chocolate croissants. He did eat an apple in addition to that.
Oh, there you go.
I know, so we did that, but yeah, I ate like crap. Oh my god, this weekend, seriously. If I had to go in for any kind of like a
and then you have
cardio,
two late nights ahead of you. That's not gonna. It's not getting better.
no, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck. They're buying us. They're getting us some good dinner though on Monday night. Hopefully Tuesday night. I'll try to eat decent at the Garden, but you know where that always goes.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so let me bring it back. Get this train back on track here. So a couple of days off. Everybody feels good about themselves in the sense of rest, relaxation, a little vitamin D, and Bruins coming back to work. And the big question there is the health of a couple of people. I would expect Foligno and Frederic to be on the ice. I would expect them to be, participating fully again with the team. Big question I think everybody's going to wait to see is Tuukka Rask. I do not expect him to be on the ice, personally. I don't. If only because he hasn't skated, right? He didn't skate for a couple of days when they were on the road. And then they come back and I'm guessing, if anything, it would be pre-practice. If he skates pre-practice, that's just my guess. His body needs to reset, rebuild. Again, this isn't just the hip. This is, I think, other stuff. In addition, you're talking about a 35 or 36-year-old goalie whose body's been through a lot. So we don't know specifically which injury it is, but it sounds like his body needs a reset to me.
Well, and if it does, then the real question is, then it's the daily Tuukka watch again, and when's he skating before the team? When does he skate full practice? When does he play games? Does he go to Providence again? It will cause questions on a fairly daily basis. So it's going to be interesting. And if I suppose the concern is there's a big concern if it's 2 weeks now, basically, give or take a day or two, and he can't come back. That starts to become concerning when you're looking at the rest of the season, because we talked about it. You can't give him a month to get up and running at this point,
right?
And if you have to do that, is he ready to even play? Period. There's only 39 games left. I mean, there's a lot of hockey, but you can back into the fact that there's only 39 too when you're looking at a guy who hasn't played for 9 months. So very interesting if he doesn't get on the ice this week.
But I'm just using my deductive reasoning powers. That's all I am. I'm saying, wait a second. How many days has it been now since he skated? Well, you figured it out before in last show. 9, something like that? Am I off? Even if it's 7, whatever.
No, he played against Anaheim 2 Mondays ago. That's 2 weeks tomorrow. Yeah.
All right, and then he skated a little after that, didn't he, or no? Did he not skate at all after that?
Well, they left the next day to Arizona, right? So Colorado's, and that's when it blew. So
right, okay. So let's even say if he skated once, which it doesn't sound like he has, I'll call it 10 days. You just don't throw him back into a full practice. This is my deductive reasoning powers right here.
That's
not
right.
With an injury that's lingering, right? That's where I'm saying. That's why I'm guessing if he's out there, that it's a session with goalie Bob or something before, just to get gently loose. So I'm curious to see. Look, by the time this show gets out, maybe late Sunday night, if it's out Monday, whatever, we'll know by Monday at 2:00. But my take is, I know for sure. I'm telling you this: Ullmark and Swayman will be there, and I'm still going with Swayman as the start because he went back to Providence in the American League this past weekend.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll be okay to have him go, and you give Ullmark a couple more days after his rest and relaxation wherever he did that, and he'll be ready to go Thursday night. So that works. That makes sense. And again, you start the Tuukka watch is on if he doesn't come out on the ice on Monday. It certainly does, because it's going to take him, let's
Yep.
say, 7 days from wherever he shows up to be able to play a game again. Minimum. So you start to, and then you start to look at it. All right, the guy hasn't played 3 games, or he's only played 3 games, 4 games in 10 months. Then it turns into 11 months, and then it turns into, well, you can't have him in the lineup.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, fascinating, and it'll
It'll
be
be fun.
interesting to see. Right, you don't want it to take the whole. You don't want it to be the entire storyline, but we'll see. Everything else should be okay, right? Am I missing anything? I mean, Foligno and Frederic, in theory, that should be everything else
Yeah,
should
and then,
be good.
I think the interesting part will be, can they play? If they can play, then what does the lineup look like?
Yeah.
And how much do they want to
Oh,
put those guys in the
Vakanainen.
lineup?
Sorry, that was the one. I just looked at my notes. Vakanainen. We don't
Concussion.
know. Right.
Yeah.
We don't know where he is there. So if he's out, then who takes his place? Cliffy is.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and similarly to Tuukka, if he isn't on the ice, you have much more concern. You would assume that he had to come off the ice. He took 5 or 6, 7 days of R&R. Head feels better. Everything's good. If you have a concussion for more than 10 days of doing nothing, then you're looking at a 3-4 week injury.
Right. Yeah.
So you hope to see him.
So what was when you came back from AllStar break?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's in a good mood, right? Usually.
Yeah. Great mood.
That first day back in the room it's not like the first day of school again, but it's the first day after holiday break. That's what it is. Everybody shares stories. Patrice Bergeron will talk a little bit, probably not that much, just Bergie being Bergie, but a little bit about Vegas. Great, shot of he and his wife Stephanie and the 3 kids making their way out there. Nice of the NHL to send them private jets for those guys. Saw a bunch of them, jetting out there, literally, figuratively. Look, I watched more of the game than I did the skills. The skills I don't mind, but they go on and on. The game went on and on too, but I was able to kind of have it over on one side, work on the other. I got on the bike another, 40 minutes and watched it too. My overall take on the weekend was another one of those A for efforts by the NHL. Very creative. Steve Mayer, their director of events there, he's a wonderful guy. For all the shit he does, oh my God, is he always in a good mood, at least overtly. I don't know how, he does that. They tried to get very creative. I thought some of it worked that I saw. Some wasn't as good, but regardless, I give him an A for effort out there. And it's not, I guess it's a made for TV event, but on the other hand, does it always translate great to TV? It kind of lingers and goes on and on. But when it's all said and done, I thought they pulled it off, as well as possible.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, my kids loved it. They thought it was cool. They were into it. I think being in Vegas was fun. That added a great element to it. I think ESPN being on board and having that platform, it shows through even more so in these big events like an All-Star game. It just seems to be out there more than what it has been in the past. And yeah, I give them full credit for doing what they did and trying to get the players' character out there, and doing the Zegras breakaway, and that stuff all
Right.
all in all is a really positive. I think it's never mind blowing, but it was. I think it's a positive weekend for the league, and when they look backwards, and the only negative was how they screwed up that breakaway contest by letting that bozo put a 19 up on the board. It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense at all. That did annoy a lot of kids. Like all my 2013 team was like ripping about that. That's all they could talk about. He didn't really win. How do you give a 19 to somebody? That's not a real number. Like, what are they doing?
Right.
He didn't even score.
Right. For anybody that didn't watch, which I would understand if you didn't, it was Petrangelo, local kid, makes his move or attempt, whatever he does. And then was it John? Who was it? Was it Ham?
John Ham.
John. Yeah, so he gives him and meanwhile Zegras was very creative.
Does
DeBrincat was
his
very
move,
creative.
and
Jack
Hughes
Hughes,
would have been the high. Hughes was
yes.
going to be the winner. So
I'm
that
more
I thought they
I'm
screwed
more
that up.
disappointed actually in the guys that didn't give Zegras a 10. There was
No, that too. Yeah.
two judges that gave him a 9. Really?
Yeah, it was
Really?
the Moose. Just that the Moose doesn't like that. He's old school, right? He's it's still in him somewhere. Where if he played against Zegras, man, he would take an elbow or he would take a high stick, cross check something.
Yeah. Did Zegras the Moose gave him? He didn't give him a 10. I
I
don't
think it
remember
was
who it
Moose
was.
who gave him a 9.
I thought there was another. Well, if it was, come on, mess. Come on. I mean, listen, it was fun. I saw a little bit of the highlights of the outdoor, shooting at targets. Okay, interesting.
It's different.
Creative.
It's exactly that. And listen, they're on the strip. There's hockey on the strip. That's for me. That's like a big deal
Yeah.
because otherwise, a lot of times these things go off in Minnesota and random places, and this is happening on the Vegas Strip. Can't hurt. Has to get 1 or 2 extra fans out of it.
Yeah. Hope so. Hope it was worth it. The games, the 3-on-3s were fine.
Yeah,
Some good saves. I don't know. You could tell
they drag out,
oh my God, do they ever? The
right?
never ending.
Because they really they need to have those commercial breaks and they need to have all the corporate, all the stuff, but the
Mhm.
players just keep playing. So literally there's there's 20-minute games. It's literally 26 minutes to play those games because the
Yeah.
goalies are shooting the puck. Like they need time. They actually need to blow the whistle more to be able to make it more
Right.
in-game stuff, but they can't get away with it because they're just not playing. It's funny.
The biggest negative to me besides the breakaway shootout, and by the way, okay, Victor Hedman wins the hardest shot, and was it Aho, the accuracy, and all fun, all good. But
Speed, the fastest skater, the St. Louis kid, Cairo.
yeah, Jordan
Knocks
Kyrie's
off
a hell
the
of a
dam.
player.
He is.
He's a hell of a player. But the biggest sham, besides the whole breakaway challenge fiasco, why the hell are they having video review in the game?
Yeah, that too.
It's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, actually.
It is. It actually. You're right. It's embarrassing. That actually does actual damage to the game.
Yes,
Someone's
that's
watching that
exactly
saying,
what I was going to say.
What are we doing? What does this mean? What are you talking about? They actually do this stuff?
Offsides review in a 3-on-3 AllStar game.
Yeah.
Don't tell me, well, there's $1 million on the line. Bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not to say that I'm not saying that it should be wide open, no offside, meaning just play. But if you miss a freaking offside, that by literally a few of these were legit reviews.
Yeah.
Come on. What are we doing?
Yeah, it does real damage. Yeah, it does real damage.
What are we doing? Okay. Thank you. I'm glad you agree because I found that to be embarrassing personally. That's where you got to destroy your arms up and be like, are you kidding me? Like, let's line up. Let's go play and do that. But it was fun. Look, Claude Giroux looking good. A lot of chatter from people that listen to Morning Bru.
Is that a segue?
Well, potential. We've already discussed it. We both are intrigued by it. I do think it is a possibility. Easier said than done again, because and I know that the Flyers are going to ask for the world for a bunch of their players.
Especially now. Didn't help him winning an All-Star MVP.
Exactly. But he controls a lot of the narrative. He can go to Fletcher and say, like Taylor Hall did, I want to go to the Bruins.
Yeah.
I want to go there.
Yep.
Make it work. If you want to trade and get something back for me, this is where I want to go.
Well, that's what's going to happen. Whatever team he decides to go to is actually not going to have to give up too much. It's going to feel like a steal, similar to what Taylor Hall did with the Bruins, because that's the new game that these guys are playing. He's going to pick 2 teams, so it's not going to be a 10-team bidding war. It's only 1 or 2.
Yeah,
and it just won't be able to get to a steep price. I'm not sure it works here. I think they need to go defense. I don't think I'm not sure if it works as much thinking about it.
Well, it's not the only
nice
move. it's not the only move.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We all know it. We've discussed it now ad nauseum. Big, strong. It doesn't have to be, you're not getting a number one. You're likely not getting a 2 or a 3. It's a 4, 5, 6, probably a 4 at best that you're getting. But you need some size. You need some nasty. You need somebody that can handle another 18 to 20 minutes. You just can't be that small back there. You just can't. So, let's see if that happens. You know, now that we've had halfway through the season, I just quickly want to run through the teams that we think are legit, though. The teams now, we know the Bruins so well. We live them day to day. Sometimes you see you're too close, so to speak, so you're harsher on them than others. But, you know, let's pick maybe the other top 3 teams per conference that are legit. We'll start with the West. I don't think there's any question that Colorado, to me, is legit yet. I do wonder about their goaltending. Could Joe Sakic pull off a Marc-Andre Fleury type of deal? I could see it happening. I could. Would Flower go there? I don't know.
And it'll be very similar. Wherever Flower goes is wherever he wants to go, and you won't have to pay very much for it. So that is possible, because he could say, I want to go to Colorado, and they give up a 5th-round pick, because Chicago's going to do him in the right way.
They should. Yeah. So I think that Colorado, their big question mark is their goaltending. They may even want another defenseman there, they're saying. But if they get it, if they're all in, which they have to be, and they could get a Marc-Andre Fleury, you know?
Yeah. You know, and I would say, I mean, they're still marquee of the West, even without, I mean, they could have you in goal. They're still marquee over there.
Definitely. And after I've eaten as much as I have recently, I don't even need equipment. Just be that big.
Just the chicken tenders on your legs.
That's it. I'm embarrassed. I'm not even going to tell you what I ate tonight on the way home from a youth game. I'm not even going to tell you. So bad. Vegas, though. Jack Eichel. Eichel could be back very soon. Now, what does it do to their roster cap? That we're going to have to figure out. They're going to have to move something. But they also have Alec Martinez coming back soon. He's been out for a while, right?
I know. That's even more so. Like, they don't have just one ball to juggle. It's both of those guys. And that's going to make guys available in that lineup, which would be interesting if, you know, you're sniffing around over there.
But who would be the third team?
But yes.
Because who?
Yeah. It's those two, hands down.
No Nashville, no Minnesota, no St. Louis. Boy, St. Louis was doing well. They're not doing well. It feels like a 2-horse race out there for tops.
Yeah. I would agree. I don't, you know, there's the Calgary's lingering, Edmonton, you know, but I don't see how any of those other teams beat those two teams in a 7-game. And wow, would that be fantastic to see Colorado and Vegas play each other?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Series.
As much as I like UC Saros, and by the way, we had a listener point out when we talked about a few games ago about the cap of the Bruins, the goaltending with Ullmark, Swayman, and Rask, how cumulatively it was so relatively comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy put out there, I shouldn't say guy, one fan put out there, you know, if you're talking that, you should really look at a team like Nashville. That's your comp. Meaning, and I was like, we're not comping it. I'm giving it, we were just giving it as
because they played each other.
Yeah. But exactly, they played. So we're just showing like this is what we're talking about numbers wise here. Now Saros has been great. He's been great this year, and I think he's at 5 million as well. I should know this.
Yeah.
I don't. And then Riddick
is probably 1.5 or whatever it is, or
right.
1 or. Yeah.
So they're getting a ton. It's you know the person that brought it up. It's not a bad comment. I'm not chastising. I'm saying it's a good comment. It's interesting, but I don't know if I see Nashville when it's all said and done as well as they've played this year, having the wherewithal to go 4 rounds or at least 3 rounds to get to the cup. I just don't. Up front.
No, they're a nice team.
Yeah.
So it's those two in the West, and then you go to the East and pick any of the 8. To pick,
see,
the first round of this Eastern Conference this season is going to be bananas. It is going to be an absolute bloodbath. And
Yeah.
there's going to be 4 teams that are really good that get sent home within 10 days of the playoffs starting.
Yeah. And, you're going to start. We don't have to do it yet because the Bruins have 39 games, which is still a healthy amount. But at about the 20 game mark, what we're going to start doing. If they're in the 7-8 spot, would you rather them play Florida, say, who's number 1 right now at 7:30 in the Atlantic? Carolina's number 1 overall. So if they got the second wild card, remember, folks, 3 teams from each division make it, top 3, and then the wild card, 2 teams make it. But if you're the second wild card team, you'll play the leader, the big dog in the conference. So it would be Boston playing Carolina and Washington playing Florida. I still say, as good as Florida is and as big as they are, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like the Bruins could handle them a little bit more than Carolina. Match up better than. We don't have to do that game right now. I'm just saying what I've seen.
Yep.
And maybe, I don't know. Maybe because Bobrovsky the last couple of years hasn't wowed me. Hasn't done it for me.
For me, Tampa's still number 1. Tampa's that's the last team you want to play for me.
Yeah. I'd agree with you on that.
Vasilevsky, Hedman, Kucherov,
Stamkos now.
Out. Yeah.
Point.
Point, all the other guys. But you just look at Hedman and Vasilevsky.
I start with Vasilevsky
every day of the week.
Yeah, I go Vasilevsky, then I go Hedman, and then I go the other 5 D men. It's man, oh man,
it's
nuts.
Yeah,
okay,
nuts.
All right, so we seem to be in agreement on that.
And they're going to make a move too, right? Like they've done the last few years.
How the hell they keep doing?
Find a way.
They do follow,
guys.
But they follow your school of thought, which I'm very much on board of. We will take the guys that can play now over the potential futures, and their responsibility is to draft so well in the 2nd through 7th round that they're fine giving up first round picks. Or even if they're drafting late, they'll give up multiple 2nd round picks. They'll say, look, we'll end up getting it back with trades over the summer and get more guys in the 3rd round. And they've done that.
Yep.
They have done
and developed them.
And developed them.
We're going to be able to plug them in with this core and make them better.
You know what it's like? It's very Detroit Red Wing like from part of the 90s and then the 2000s when they were great, which was where Steve Yzerman learned the way of the world.
That's right.
Develop your players down in the IHL or the AHL. Let them sit there for 3 years. 3 years. Well, wait a second. They're 23
and bring
now.
them up and put them in. If they're come into a winning culture, a winning team, then they'll turn into winners.
Right. So with all that said, I'm going to revert back to a little bit of trade talk. Rumblings out there. I know some of our fans have asked about it and talked about it. The whole JT Miller thing and the whole Fabian Lysell, who's out in Vancouver playing for the Giants out there. Would he have to be a focal point to get a guy like JT Miller? Yeah, probably. Sitting here in my home office studio talking about it, like I have no inside info on that, but would I absolutely expect Jim Rutherford and his new staff to ask for a guy like Lysell? Sure. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the kid at all. I would do it for JT Miller. I mean, you got to look at if it's a bigger package. I would absolutely consider it. Absolutely consider it. If you think, because JT Miller starts giving you that next generation centerman, the question becomes, how much do you want to sign him for? He's got 1 year left on his deal. And after that, are you willing to go long-term and make him a focal point for your team? That's going to be the big question in that type of a potential move.
Yeah, you have to have that extension in your pocket when you make that deal and know what the number is, what he wants, where you're going with it. And yeah, if that's the case, if you're getting a guy in his mid to late 20s,
he's 29, I think.
Even yeah, and he's going to play for 5 years. I mean, that's better than anything any prospects do. Prospects are just prospects. It doesn't. You put guys in the NHL or guys in the NHL. There's a big difference. So So I'm all for if they can do that and have a contract in place, a la Taylor Hall, then that makes your team better a lot sooner than hoping Fabian Lysell is a great
And
player.
by the way, you may have to move a guy off your roster to create more of that money too. So you're going to probably lose somebody up there. Maybe that's where the Jake DeBrusk slot goes. But again, does Vancouver then want to have to offer him at that rate? But maybe they're willing to take that chance if they get a guy like a Fabian Lysell, who seems like a tremendously skilled player. But holy shit, I don't get to watch him enough, Razor, to know when it's all said and done. All right. Let's quickly hit on Beanpot. You and I are working it. We'll wrap up this Morning Brew here. You worked college on Saturday.
It's exciting to be back, right? I think a lot of people are excited that it's back in the Garden, and we're going to go watch it live, and it's a real deal.
I'm told I worked Northeastern in Vermont on Friday night. I am told that Northeastern and BU's student tickets allotment have sold out. Now, Northeastern has been...
And BC. I was told BC as well. So there you go.
BC is sold out. Great. Okay. 3 of the 4. Yeah. Awesome. Hopefully Harvard will get some more people there. They haven't been able to go to games there until recently at Harvard. And hopefully they'll get some people to go. That's the 5 o'clock game, right? Harvard and BU is the 5 o'clock game. Northeastern, BC, the 8 o'clock or 7:45 game, whatever. I'm excited for the colors, the pageantry, the intensity of the college kids and the experience there. It was so good 2 years ago, Razor. It was so good. The last 2 Beanpots were a ton of fun. 3 in a row now for Northeastern. A ton of players, top-end players, not going to be there due to Olympic participation. Northeastern and BU have both lost their goalies. Lost isn't the right term. Their goalies are not going to be there. And easily you could argue that Devin Levi, the top goalie in the NCAA this year, 9 shutouts, 9 of his 16 wins by shutout. He's playing for Team Canada, Drew Comesso for BU. Then you've got the top 2 scorers from Harvard that aren't going to be there. Top 3 guys from Boston College that's not going to be there. So a ton of high-end players not going to be there. Doesn't this make it a wide open event now? It has to. I mean, there's really no favorite heading in.
That's the way I see it. There's no. Yes, there's some of the talent is lacking. You would have loved to have seen a McBain or McLaughlin or Levi, Comesso, those guys you talked about. But I think it does lend itself to wild games and swings and momentum and just unexpected surprises. So that's really what we all want out of the Beanpot. I think at the end of the day is when you have that underdog or you have that team or that one player that you didn't expect or ever heard of before get 3 goals. Yeah. And then you get to talk about it all week. So yes, that's where I see this, at least the first Monday going is chaos.
Yeah. If I had to handicap it, I'd say BU at 10-1-1 in their last 12 games coming in would be a very slight favorite. They have a little more age, a little more experience. Now, every team now in college hockey, folks, if you don't follow it, teams nowadays are starting to bring in kids, at 20 years old, 21. Grad transfers are happening more and more. Northeastern has a kid from Michigan State who's been a real big add to their blue line. BU's got kids. They had a kid from Vermont who's one of their leaders now there. He's 24, 25, finishing up his 5th year there. So you know what I mean? Like it's different.
David Pasternak's age.
That's right. That's right. BC's got some
playing in the Beanpot.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Pasternak in the Beanpot. Like how many goals would he score at college hockey right now?
Oh my God. He'd score 20.
Oh, in both games, right? But it's so much fun. I'd have to say BU to me 1. I guess Northeastern 2. Northeastern got better as the game I watched. They've been struggling a bit lately, but they have a kid playing goal. This kid, the TJ Sempton-Felter. Got to get that name down, Razor. You'll it's a long one. Barely fits on the jersey.
TJ, it's just TJ to me. It's TJ to me.
But he looks confident for a freshman that didn't really play. hasn't played except game and a half, 2 games now. BU's goalie has played 1 game, Vinny Duplessis. He played a game the other day. BU won. That should help him out. He's a good goaltender from what I'm told. BC's struggling mightily this year. I'll tell you what,
Oh my God, they're horrible.
they have gone big time into a funk. And Harvard,
They haven't won since December 31st.
That's crazy. And yet,
yeah, crazy.
Jerry York will be the most positive guy in the building. He will.
Yep.
He will be the most positive guy in the building. How he does it is just unfathomable. Meaning, like, it's so. I'm so envious of his energy and of his outlook. It's awesome. Now, the only other thing I'll say is Harvard. Harvard has their goalie.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yep. Now, they're missing their top 2 scorers going into. Well, now 1 or 2 guys have jumped up because their Olympians have been gone for a week. But 2 important players for Harvard that aren't there. The defenseman, a forward and a D. I don't know. I still think Teddy Donato can get his team if they're moving the puck around well. They can skate with you. So it'll be interested to see. But I'm guessing. Not that I'm into predictions. I'm going to guess a BU Northeastern final. That's what I'm going to put out.
All right. I like it.
All right. Well, that'll wrap it up. You and I will be back after, I believe, Tuesday's game. We'll put it out there in social media to confirm, but I'm pretty sure Tuesday's game is Bruins is against Pitt. And what are their home? Tuesday and Thursday this week, I believe, before going away. Okay. Who do they have on Thursday? It's another good game.
Good question. I'm working Thursday, but I'm not sure who it is.
It's another tough game. That's all I know. It's amazing how they're kind of blurring into one. I guess I should know this. I should know this kind of shit.
I couldn't even look at the schedule.
Oh, Carolina. Okay, there you go. They go. Carolina. This is what they do. This is the week for the Bruins: Pitt, Carolina, and then Saturday at Ottawa, a 12:30 start in Ottawa. In fact, so mark that down a little bit early. All right, that'll wrap up Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. We'll be back with you in a couple of days. Everybody have a wonderful Monday. Let's see what happens with regard to everybody's health after the AllStar break, after Monday's practice. I'm sure we'll have something to talk about after Tuesday's game one way or another. Have a wonderful day and have an even better coffee.